Welcome back, Panther fans. I'm David Brown here with Ryan Graham,
Hey, y'all.
Tim Thurber,
Hello.
and this is State of Atlanta. Ooh, splurted.
All right, back to
welcome back,
Tim's
guys.
already done with his beer.
Hey, Ryan, I forgot. Well, I waited too long to post this to the Patreon group. Would you just copy that link and send it over to the chat for those guys? Appreciate it. Yeah, I was spending too much time updating other stuff than preparing for this. I'm a bad boy today. But big week, man. So is this the biggest win now in school history? Biggest home win in school history, having beat Vanderbilt?
Oh, I sent the wrong thing.
Ooh. Biggest home win in Center Park Stadium?
Yeah, biggest home win, right? Is this the biggest home win?
Yes. Yes. I can. Yes. Affirmative. Yes.
Yeah, I agree. What a game. What a game. I don't know how to start.
It was a tight contest. We pulled away, and then we did the Georgia State thing, which is let everyone back into every game, whether it's men's basketball, football, soccer, hockey. We don't have hockey. Men's swimming, men's lacrosse, every women's sport. Like we just let people back in, except for beach volleyball.
It was one drive. Like we were up, I think, two scores, two scores, doing some points, and they started playing way off the ball on defense. They started playing prevent, and it was way early for that kind of nonsense. And prevent, we talk about this before. Prevent never prevented anything. So right. What they did was made a couple big plays and scored, and they were all of a sudden back in the game. And you're like, what the hell happened?
The interception didn't help either.
Then
bad timing about that. Maybe they found a playbook in the suite that said best defense when you're up 2 scores, left over from last year and the year before that, and they're like, "Oh, let's try it."
It's just so frustrating. Our defense all day is working, is containing like everything. Their quarterback, like he's been a rushing monster, and we held him back to I pulled it up so I could have it, but 15 carries for 40 yards. He was the leading rusher for their first 2 games, and he didn't really do a whole lot. He wasn't able to do a whole lot. And then we peel off. Like, what are you doing? Defense is working. Quit it. Why would you change it?
It's less than 8 minutes to go. We got this game in the bag.
Easy. You look at the box score, and they barely put anything together in the first 3 quarters, and then 22 points in the fourth quarter.
That's an impressive fourth quarter.
It's which is like what you were talking about, Tim, that is just such a Georgia State thing to do. But it's so funny having talking to the Vandy fans that were there, and then obviously Todd, who's buddies who went to both schools and everything. That was a great fan base. We are like
so nice,
so nice, but like
too nice.
The same mindset. We're just, both fan bases are so used to just losing in like tragic fashion, or
it's like
something.
We're battered wife syndrome, both teams.
Exactly.
Like, we just like, no, it's okay. No, it's okay. No, we're gonna win. No, you're gonna win. Like, my favorite part was that couple that was walking out. Congratulations! I'm like, whoa, too soon. Way too soon.
Way too soon.
We know Vandy. I'm like, we know Georgia State. So stay in your seats because this game's not over.
Yeah, I felt like I was being a jerk to them by saying the game wasn't over yet, but I was like, that guy, oh no, the game's not over. Got to watch it to the end. No, I was like,
I've seen this before.
I am ready for. And then when they took the lead, I was like, I wish that old lady was still here so I could like say, look, I wasn't talking trash. Like we literally do this all the time. And then we won. I was kind of like, yeah, well, she's been around the block more than I have. She knows exactly how this plays out.
Yeah, but holy shit, that drive.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But like what? I mean, the stuff of legends,
I can literally picture that lady like turning around, even if that happened, going, well, just watch, like just because that seems to be we both have the same mentality of like, it's not going to happen or we're going to drop the lead. But yeah, agree, Ryan, that last drive, I was like, all right, you got 1:15, 2 timeouts. You could do it.
Did we even use a timeout? I have no idea.
No,
we didn't.
We only incompleted like 1 or 2 passes. I mean, it was
one.
Nuts.
I think it was. Yeah. My question is, does Kirk Cousins wear Christian Bayer underoos, or does Christian Bayer wear Kirk Cousins underoos? Because man, like back to
so similar.
All the most closely almost have the exact same ending to their games.
Well, and so what got me was, all the coaching that we talk about, like all the brilliant coaching that we expected and all that. Like I feel like the players, like despite the coaching, despite the play calling, came back with the win because the coaches had their way. We might have lost.
Yeah,
that's true. He did his own thing. Yeah.
I don't know. There when they made it to the when Vandy made it to the end zone, supposedly McGee told Scher, like, let him score. Like, let's pull him into the end zone. Let's get that ball back and get a chance to go.
I was yelling that. I was like, let him score at this point. Like, they're gonna get in.
Ryan's anti. Never let them score.
If they don't score, they're not in the game. We could stop them there too.
We weren't having much success in that though in the fourth. It just wasn't happening.
Yeah, Ryan, you're talking about the difference in playing the lottery and flipping a coin.
No, I'm not.
Trying to stop them.
We were stopping their defense. We were stopping their offense all game long. There's no reason
up until we weren't, which is at the point we were. But you're talking
point is
about
to get them to not score points. You don't want them to score points ever.
There are lots of times in my life where I know why I am not a head football coach or even an assistant coach, and this is one where I know why Ryan's not, because you definitely
because I have this like crazy strategy of not letting the other team score points.
But what I'm trying to tell
that a defense should stop the offense. Oh, crazy!
What I'm trying to tell you is the chances of us stopping them at that point was very, very small. It's playing the lottery.
No,
instead, you let them score, you flip a coin, now you got a 50-50 shot, which is a way better odds in the lottery that you're actually gonna be able to do something that makes something happen, which is what we did.
Minute offense is a flip of the coin.
It's way closer to a flip of the coin than stopping them on the absolutely yes, absolutely.
You guys
1,000%.
My confidence in us stopping them on that last drive was super low. They were just doing whatever they wanted to do, and at that point, we were actually trying to play defense, and it still wasn't working for whatever reason.
I don't know.
So when they got down to like
the strategy was let them score. So
the 2 or 1 yard line, I'm like, no, we'll just let's play. Please let them in. Like we're not going to do this 4 downs. Like they'll leave us with nothing on the clock.
It was the same thing that happened with the Falcons a couple years ago. I say a couple. I think it was a few years. I think it was Ryan was still there, and not Graham, Matt. And yeah, we were in that same kind of situation. Very little time left. They were they're on the goal line. They're trying not to score, and we're trying to like bring them. Oh no, it was us. It was us doing it. It's the other way around. We were on offense. That's what it was. And we're trying to tell like the running back, drop to the knee at the 1 yard line. Do not go in. And there he goes, and he scores. He gets a touchdown. We take the lead. It gives them a minute and a half left on the clock, and they go back and they score and they win the game. Now, had we been able to down the ball there, we would have had time to run the clock out a lot more. And if we scored, then we kind of put the game away. Otherwise, they were able to come back, which is what we were able to do. That was the strategy, was to get the ball back. You have a better shot of scoring points and winning a game when you have the ball in your hand than when somebody else does. Ryan.
Jinx.
I think he muted himself. He doesn't even want to talk.
Okay.
I don't agree with that. I
all right.
But it doesn't really matter. We're not coaches, and we're not here for X's and O's. But you guys are wrong, and I'm right.
7 plays, 75 yards, less than a minute, and we score.
Nuts.
That's insane. He threw dimes on the field. That last pass.
Oh my god.
So perfect.
From where we were, because we're up in the club and looking down where I'm at my 47-year-old eyes looking down, I'm like, there's no way that he was in bounds just from that angle that I saw. And then arms go up, and I'm like, holy crap, we actually got it. And then it was like, we're going under review, and I'm like, no review.
They already screwed us once on that.
Yep. And then it was so funny to me, like when you see laterals when like a team has actually given up all hope, and they're like, we've got nothing better to do than lateral the ball. So that's what Vandy does on their last play, is just like toss the ball here and there. And I'm like, oh, we've just turned into a comedy sketch. This is great.
Actually, I was a little worried on that, to be honest. Like,
yeah, I mean, it is like a coin toss whether that works or not, because you got the ball, right? So like you're gonna score.
You either score or you don't.
It's a coin toss chance. Score, yeah.
No, but they started on the lateral. They started advancing the ball a little too much, and I was like, someone tackle them, please, now. Like, end this game so we have this win. First P5 win in school history in our home stadium. Like, please. And they did, which is awesome.
Yeah, note to P5, P4 programs in Tennessee, do not schedule Georgia State. I think I posted on Twitter, like, we want Memphis, which we have, like, I think next year we have Memphis. Right?
We had them already. We lost.
They beat the snot out of us.
Yeah, they beat the
yeah,
we were. I remember being
excited
for that. Yeah, we were excited for that game, and then it was like, ugh.
That was another time.
You were there, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
That was another time where Memphis just like the team we had scheduled that we thought was a good competitive game. All of a sudden, that was what Memphis was on. They were just like super high firing offense, and they just could do no wrong. And they were battling it out with UCF for that American title, and then the Cowards canceled the return game. But I'm glad we got it back on the schedule. So
it might be our second P5 win if they move to the Pac-2 12 plus 4 8.
They're the new Pac. We'll talk about the realignment later, but the new Pac is not going to be a power conference or an autonomous conference.
No,
but I don't know. I will tell you, when that fluke of a safety we got, like I thought we were going to get screwed and they were going to call it a touchback, and I'm like, no, he's down at the 1 yard line. It's the 1 yard line. Just don't make it a touchback. And then they come out and say it's a safety. I'm like, holy crap! What a crazy, wild turn of events there.
Yeah, I was in the touchdown club, and I like, you can't do that. It's a safety. And the Georgia State fans next to us were arguing that you can do that. I'm like, no, you can't. It's either down at the 1 or a safety. It's not a touchback,
right?
Which is what they were saying it was.
Yeah.
And they still argued after they called it a safety that it shouldn't have been. I'm like,
take the points, you idiot.
Why do you have a Georgia State shirt on? Or you have that on? That it doesn't mean you're a Georgia State fan.
Yeah.
There were Vandy fans in there. Just gotta say, it's kind of weird. I don't know why you'd put the opposing team's fans in your touchdown club.
How did they even get access to it?
Well, so I wasn't allowed back in, not because my name wasn't on a list. It's because I didn't have my pass from the previous week.
Yeah, you gotta have those.
I had to bring a pass back. I don't know where the hell that thing is. Why would I keep track of a piece of paper?
You have to keep the same pass for the entire season.
Yeah, and they were like, "Sorry, we can't let you in without that."
They did that at the Owners Club in the Georgia Dome one of those last years where you got like one big, huge laminate card, and you had to have it every week to get into the Owners Club.
This was like this little thing with like a printed sticker on it with my name on it, like
a Social Security card, which is like the flimsiest piece of paper. And like
it was still a step above.
Yeah. There was like a one of those VIP pass things, but with a sticker on top of it. So it's not like cheap, but it's not great. I still was like, I don't understand why. Like, that's bullshit, guys.
I remembered like just before we went in, I was like, last week was blurry. What did I do with this? It was in my pocket. Did I wash it? No, I didn't wash it. Oh, it's in the car. It's in the glove box. It was there. Whew.
Yeah, I gotta poke around and see if I can find it. If not, I guess I'll ask Eli before the next game and let him tell me no or something. I don't know.
I do give one a bit of recommendation. If you know somebody that has access to that club and they're not going to be there for the game, don't go up there and say that you're somebody else first, and then say that the name of the person that you know that actually has access, because they'll ask for your ID. I did that. I was like, is David Brown on here? Like, nope. And I'm like, and I gave a buddy of ours name, and they're like, yes, it is. I'm like, that's me. And like, let me see your ID. I'm like, why? Like, because you just told me.
You asked too many questions.
You don't need that. Why would you need my ID? Just trust me. Come on, let me in.
No, but back to that safety. I wanted to win the game by 1 point. And like, every single time the score changed, I was like doing the math. I'm like, all right, now if we get 2 more safeties and run back a point after, but that means they got to get it. I was trying to come up with all the calculus and everything to figure. I just wanted to win by 1 point, so that one guy was the reason why they lost the game. I wanted that so bad.
For most of that game, it felt like our team had such control over the field that they could do that if they wanted.
Right, they could say like, "Come over here. You're going to get a safety."
I mean, it really was. I mean, we manhandled
over there.
Except for like, the 1 or 2 plays that we've talked about that, it feels like the defense sort of laid off. I just feel like the whole game we just like dominated.
Have you seen that Twitter feed or channel, whatever it is, that puts out this, how good was my win, or was my win as good as I thought it was? And they kind of rank the quality of the way the two teams played versus the outcome of the game.
Mm-hmm.
They had
what'd they say? Tell us.
They had who was it? Who was the team that beat the living snot out of their FCS team? Tennessee. Was it Tennessee that played that beat
Tennessee? But I mean,
Vandy did it.
USA did it in our league.
This past week. Whoever it was,
USA. They beat them like 88 to 12 or something.
That was the best win. Like Tennessee, whoever it was, they were the best team on the field, and every single drive, it was the best drive, and the other team had nothing. Right. The last place team, I should have put the graphic up. I wasn't going to talk about it, but the last team on that whole list going the opposite direction was our win over Vandy. They're saying that Vandy was the more efficient, the better team on like a play-by-play, a drive-by-drive basis, whatever it is their weird algorithm is, despite the fact that they lost the game. That they were the better team, but they just ended up losing the game.
I feel that's crazy because we were up like more than 2 touchdowns. Like I don't understand.
It was weird. I struggle to understand that little chart whenever it comes out, but it was just notable that we were the absolute opposite of Tennessee, whoever it was, being the best win for a win. We were
I'll take that win.
Yeah,
really strange. I mean, we had all the best stats and the lead most of the game.
What did you guys think about the students, the kids storming the field? If you can call it storming the field.
I sort of for a while I was like, they're allowed on the field after every game, so I don't understand. I mean, I guess they jumped the rail.
Did you see that one kid? Oh man, that's gonna hurt.
Hard. Well, because it's also like slick turf, like it's not. It's been raining all day. Yeah,
right. It's not the drop between the student section and the field is higher than a lot of stadiums, so it's not
significant. Yeah,
it's not a short hop down. If you don't jump the right way, you're oof.
The social media or the internet's just roasted Georgia State fans for storming the field after beating Vandy.
Everything I saw was like roasting, but like it was endearing. Like people were like, well, let them have fun. Like that was a good win. Like let the kids have fun, type of thing. Like it's great that they did that, even though there's not that many of them. You know what I mean? Like that's some of the messages I saw.
I have way too many Sunbelt fans in my feeds, and like the Trash Down South and the Appy people and the Jimmy Madison people were just like, storming the field for beating Vandy. I'm like, you know what? I don't care if it's Vandy. It's this team that, it's always talked about like the Monroe of the Sun Belt. Like, when the teams move on, this is the first team that gets dropped out when the teams do whatever they do with their minor league professional program. They still get SEC money towards their facilities and their programs. They're getting $60 million to our $2 million. They're still getting SEC caliber players playing for them. This was not, your granddad's Vandy. This was a Vandy that had beaten Power 5 team in Virginia Tech and beat the absolute snot out of their FCS opponent, whereas we struggled with Chattanooga. So
heavily struggled.
What I like about it is we have seen improvement every single week from this program.
Well, it's sort of backed up my theory that we saw a scrimmage against Chattanooga. And again, like that 1 minute drive. I mean, that was like we talked about how we scored on every drive after they scored for UTC. Like, I mean, that 1 minute drive is just, I mean, it's insane that happened the way it did. And with such, I don't know, like it didn't even look like they didn't know what they were doing or like they were confused at any time. Like they really did just like put on a show.
To go back to just because it's relevant, to go back to the Falcons game last night where Kirk Cousins did basically the same thing to win the game against the Eagles. If you watch the Manning cast, which if you're not watching the Manning cast, I mean, I hate Eli Manning, Peyton's a god. But if you don't watch the Manning cast for Monday Night Football, you're watching Monday Night Football the wrong way.
The regular.
But they had Matt Ryan on, and they're watching the game, and Matt makes a comment like, didn't you always love the 2 minute drill the best? It's when the playbook got shrank. It's what you did the most in practice, what everybody knows. There was no rhyme or reason. There was no thought. They're just like, all right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this play and this play and this play, and we're going to get down there. And how much they actually, as quarterbacks, just loved doing that because it is simple and you can keep the defense on their edge and they don't know what they're doing. And so I feel like Christian was probably in the same kind of mindset, which, and hell, props to Christian Veilleux, man. He just orchestrated that and executed and did a great job. Like, there's no quarterback controversy at Georgia State. This is the guy that we want behind
over
center.
60% completion rate again.
Yeah.
And that run, what was it? The first touchdown that we got was him running it in from like 15 yards out or something like that. That was just
He commented on the post game. He's like, "I'm not really that athletic, but I'm athletic enough. I can get the TD if I need to," and he did.
He's more like Matt Ryan after all the practice when everybody talked about him, and not quite like a Stafford, which was he was like. He'd start running and you'd be like, what, did somebody just hit slow motion on real life?
I felt the same thing with Matt Ryan. Whenever Matt Ryan took off of the ball, I'm kind of like, this is a slow motion.
Like, what's happening?
Why did everyone slow down and Matt Ryan speed up?
His 15-yard time is pretty quick, pretty sharp. He looked great. But like, shout out to a lot of different players. Ted Hurst with the catch.
Hurst has been on fire, man. He's Veilleux's favorite by far.
As somebody put on, I think Panther Talk is we need to do whatever we can right now to make sure he does not go into the portal as soon as this season's over. Like,
set up a Hurst
getting NIL.
Hurst NIL fund.
Get the Hurst money.
Well, Brock too, for that matter. I mean, he'll get picked up.
The guy was only a couple yards short of 100.
I think Brady made a comment.
Where's Veilleux? Is he senior? Veilleux?
I think we got 2 years with Veilleux. That's one of the reasons why.
Don't get too good. Don't get too good.
Yeah, but I think with this would be like his third school if Veilleux if transferred. But like if what Brady said in a post about Freddie Brock was he thinks that last year Freddie Brock may have been the most unlucky running back in college football because he was sitting behind Marcus Carroll. And why are you going to give the ball to somebody else when you've got Carroll just doing everything that needed to be done? So that and that the Utah State bowl game was no fluke. Freddie Brock's the real deal.
He's ready to go.
And then the biggest player of the day.
Is there somebody ahead of him that's hurt though? Is that
Beasley?
Yes, Beasley.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
that duo, that's gonna be awesome.
I don't think that McGee has the intention of having a featured back. I think his intention is to rotate him out regularly to have fresh legs and kind of keep the defense on their toes and not know what's kind of coming at them.
Well, having two backs that can produce like that would be ridiculous. So
he must be taking a page out of a playbook from some other school he came from. I don't know. They rotate a lot up at UGA. So
McGee, you talking about McGee?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But I think that the biggest player, the game ball, should have gone to Kevin Swint on defense.
He was everywhere.
He's here. He's there. He's everywhere.
Fucking Walt Greg is on. No, wait, wrong sport.
Yeah, no, he was all over the place, and it was 8 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for losses, 2 pass deflections, a forced fumble. Man, like. And that he came from I think the local Clemson paper actually had an article they wrote about him. Like they're writing about guys that not even on Clemson's team anymore about how good of an impact that he had on the game. So
gotta read about something. It's not Clemson.
Not out. Shut.
This defense is good. I mean, that's really all there is to it.
Much better than every year in the past so far.
The defense is good.
The mentor defense.
Not all of those, but Sean Elliott era defense.
Yeah.
The defense is good. Oh, yeah, Sean Elliott defense. Yeah, we had defense. But the offense is getting better.
Yeah.
Like it's every week. And I complained and bitched and moaned about this schedule, but what a better time to have a bye week. Coming off of a P4 victory a week before having to play Trash Down South at home. And they're going to go over to Oxford and get their asses handed to them by Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss is over a 30-point favorite.
It's 30 or higher. Yeah.
Just get manhandles. It gives us a chance. It gives our players a chance to get a little healthy and everything. Fix any bumps or bruises they have, but also get this game out of their mind, and they're not riding high still on this big win and can really focus on Trash Down South. 2 weeks to prepare for it. This part of the schedule worked out really well for us, I think.
Give them a week to forget about it.
Yeah.
And then refocus. I will say the Trash Down South people are very threatened and angry all at the same time. And obsessed, obviously. I mean,
I was going to say, I just went and looked up their scores because I haven't been paying any attention to them because I don't care.
They were on fire everywhere. Yeah. I mean, it's just Vandy. It's only Vandy. You barely beat them. Like, it was every kind of, and then it's like your stadium sucks and all the other normal shit that comes out of their mouths. I mean, I know hate or trash week is next week, but just a preview.
And also they were trying to, like, everyone's talking about Florida's coach getting fired on the hot seat, and that you have the Trash Down South people trying to, like, ship McGee off like mid-season, like,
get rid of him.
They're that threatened by McGee in Georgia State right now. They want him to mid-season take a job with Florida.
That would be terrible.
I've coined a new term. I like to call them ditchwater drinkers because it's kind of what it is. It's ditch, right? It's not it's a retention pond, but ditchwater drinkers just sounds nice.
It's a crick.
It's a crick. But yeah, they're the most hateful group of people out there. I mean, it's like, well, what P5 have you beaten at home?
They don't get P5s at home.
I know, because they're too difficult to beat. Apparently, that's what the excuse is. So, I don't know.
They've started to get a couple of decent G5 programs, but I don't think they've had
Boise's pretty good.
P5. Yeah. Oh yeah. Boise may very well be the G5 rep in the college football playoff if that Georgia Tech game really hurts us that bad. Oh, speaking of that, I love scouring through all the different websites and everything, reading what people have to say about the games. And this Georgia Tech fan was talking about our game and said Georgia State is now a better quality win for Tech than beating FSU.
Nah.
That's a good one.
I don't know if that's true, but it is funny.
We'll just call it true. If Florida State keeps losing, I don't know. It could be true.
They're favored this week against California. They're 0-3, and they're favored against 3-0 California in Tallahassee.
That's because the media loves them, and they do have a lot of talent on the team. They just can't put it together for whatever reason.
So funny.
Mainly, it's because they're QB. But yeah, that's a train wreck.
It's funny.
I feel for Ben, although Ben at least has Georgia State to make him feel better. So.
I don't feel for Ben. He's seen national championships in his lifetime. You know, he'll be all right. He'll survive. I saw some chick on TikTok, whatever, just bemoaning being a Giants fan and how nobody understands how bad it is to be a Giants fan. And I'm like, really? You have 2 Super Bowl rings in your lifetime, and I'm a Falcons fan that has to hear 28-3 everywhere I go. So yeah, don't tell me how hard it is to be a Giants fan.
Well, and I love being a Falcons fan, and and a Georgia State fan for that matter. Like, who cares if we got hardship? That doesn't make me hate being a fan. If I hated being a fan, I wouldn't be one.
Yeah, well, the thing is about being a fan of a program programs like we are. And granted, I want to be the next Bama or Patriots or whatever it is. But the thing about being where we are, when we beat a Vandy 36-32, we are riding high for weeks.
Yeah, feels good.
But if you're Bama and you get upset by Georgia, my season's over.
Really? Because everyone is upset.
I was going to say like Bowling Green or something like that, but I was like, I didn't want to make it that bad. Like, you actually get beat by a national title contender. It's like, oh, my season's over now. I guess the playoffs it's not. But like, when you're that blue chip team, that big, huge team, and you lose a game, it's like, well, it's over and done with. I've got nothing to cheer for anymore. Where I win a game against Vandy, and this is, we'll be talking about this one for years.
Yeah.
Well, again, we finally have another thing to put on the other half of the sign out front.
Do you think McGee knows about that? Do you think he's like, ooh, should we do that? Or should we not do that?
Well, maybe we could just poster over the Tennessee one instead.
No, I don't want to get rid of Dan though. I don't want to get rid of Dan. Come on, man.
But we should not have either of those up there. But
I agree. But they should have never been put up there, but don't
they
replace them with doing the exact same thing.
Actually, you know what? Keep Dan up there. Keep a play from the game if you want, but maybe don't put the score or like any indication of what game it came from. It's just cool, like cool players, and we'll all know it came from a cool game. But
that's fair. I agree. You know,
display
the player,
the score. I don't know,
because Dan is definitely Mount Rushmore of all Georgia State football.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah,
easily. All right. What else we got about Vandy? I think that's all I got about Vandy. We're tied for third place in the conference, in the division. Division of 7 teams.
With 0-0?
Well, 0-0 in conference, but like, you know, the out of conference games.
You're saying the out of conference.
They count those right now?
I mean, well, it's still ranked, you know, they rank, so we're all tied in conference. So you go to the tiebreakers, which is overall record.
Oh,
you got
I don't think I knew that.
I mean, that's just the way it works. But Coastal at 3-0, Jimmy Madison 2. Did they have their bye like week 1 or something? Jimmy Madison's 2-0.
Something the Sun Belt would do.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Then Appy, Trash, and ourselves 2-1. So, and then you got Old Dominion 0-3, and Troy in the West. Troy 0-3 is surprising.
I wonder if any other team played 2 P5 teams in those 3 games.
It's a good question.
Probably
maybe one you should have asked.
I would imagine not, but
it's very rare for a G5 program to play 2 P5 teams in one season, especially within the first 3 weeks of the season.
Yeah, unless you get them at home.
You get SEC team at home. I mean, that's good scheduling. I don't know how that happened, but it's a good deal.
Well, it makes sense for Vandy. I mean, they don't have to, you know, spend $1.5 million to play a team. The travel costs are negligible to them, and you know, anytime they get a chance, you know, they've got a huge fan base here in Atlanta because, you know, smart guys, smart people. I don't mean guys, but smart graduates. A lot of them end up in Atlanta after graduating. So I think it makes a lot of sense. Like, not every year, but you know, every 5-6 years, Vandy would make a lot of sense to have on rotation.
Home with Vandy. I'm okay with it.
And I am looking forward to that trip to Nashville or to Vanderbilt, Tennessee.
Vanderbilt, Tennessee. Yeah.
As Kenyon would say. Yeah.
I was like, sure. Let's go.
You know, originally when we did that bus to Auburn, I was trying to find a bus trip for every single season, and you know, it hasn't happened that way. But Vandy was my list of what I want to do. But as we get closer to it, I'm like, I don't want to just go to Nashville for a day trip. I want to go up there on, you know, at least Friday, if not Thursday night, and just have a whole time to hang out in Nashville and do it upright. So
yeah, I don't think I could do a bus because I probably have to stay for family.
Yeah. You need to do what I want to do when we play Ole Miss. Is you drive past the school, drop the kid off at the folks, and then you get to come back,
turn around,
or even better, have them meet you in Nashville, take the kid home with them, and then that's
I'm picking up
which I was thinking about doing that. So I was talking to Ben about Trash playing in Oxford against Ole Miss, and I'm like, ooh, maybe I have a new nephew in Memphis that I have not seen yet. Maybe I drive to Oxford, have the family come pick up the kids.
No, don't do that.
No, I got the Kirkwood wine stroll on Friday. I'm going to get wine drunk on Friday night, which perfect time for a bye week. I can have a wine hangover all day Saturday and not worry about having to be tailgating or going to a game. So
yeah,
I'm getting acid reflux just thinking about that.
Can you imagine all that red wine? Oof.
They have white as well. You have your options. Every booth has red and white. I choose red.
That's not an option.
Yeah, white's disgusting.
It exists, but it's not an option.
Yeah, white's disgusting wine.
I know you were talking about Troy being 0-3, which is crazy. I think ULM being 2-0 is equally as crazy. Are they 3-0?
Oh, they're 2-0. Sorry, they're 2-0. My bad.
They had their bye week, right? Yeah.
How are these teams only 2 wins? 2 games. Louisiana too. Lafayette only 2.
That's weird.
I think there was one team. There was one team like Ball State or some weird MAC school or something like that had bye week when week 1. So
tailgate ended up good. Just it was like slight rain. Never like
Misty.
too wet. The wind never really picked up, so like the tents were cool, and just the weather was it was good.
I think for what we were fearing at the tailgate, we had a plus tailgate with the weather.
Yeah.
Like it was. I was telling somebody, if you've ever run like the Peachtree or any of these races where they have
the rain.
Well, no, but when they have those misters, when you run by the Publix and stuff like that, it was basically that mister the entire time. It was just misting almost the entire time.
The water was like the water drops were so light that they were just sort of like fluttering in the sky. I mean, it was just like wet air.
Yeah, all the Google driverless cars were wrecking out everywhere, but we were doing good because we could see. We know the difference between rain and a stop sign. So
it really was nice though, and pretty good turnout. And I mean, we didn't really care too much about food, which is fine. But
yeah, it was good. We'll I think we're gonna do a wings / it was submitted. A white trash was submitted, and I don't know what's more offensive, white trash or trailer trash. But I feel like that's gonna be the themes. Gonna be wings and white trash, trailer trash food,
white trash
for the Trash Down South game. Trash either way.
Oh, it's all trash.
They have up in upstate New York. My wife has they do garbage plate. They call them garbage plates, where they pretty much put everything on a plate together. Maybe we can do some garbage plates or something like that. That's a good idea. We got a week. We have time to worry about that. I do want before we talk about any of that other stuff. An order just came through, so I wanted to talk about. If you're watching on YouTube, I have my State Town Down shirt.
State Town Down.
I want to try to get a big showing of the shirt or any of our shirts at the Trash Down South game. So we've discounted all of our shirts to $15. Pickup will be at the tailgate. No delivery. Never worry about that at all. Orders by Saturday. Go to the website merch.stateofatlanta.com. Use the code TDS5. You get $5 off that shirt and any one of our shirts on the website, and place the orders. If you're a Patreon member, you actually get $10 off. So you could actually just join Patreon and save even more money if you wanted to. Just saying. Patreon.com/stateofatlanta.
$5
if you want.
Yeah.
If you want.
Get it.
Yeah, another order came through. Somebody just ordered 6 shirts. $60 came through. So
6?
Patreon member.
Wow. Strong order, whoever did that.
I say it could have been 3 or 2 shirts from 4 shirts from a regular member. I just saw $60 come through. I'm not sure who ordered it. I put it on.
Saw the neck gator on there.
I've cut it down. We have 4 shirts. We have the State Town Down. We have our GSU ATL, the OG State of Atlanta shirt, and then our Evening School of Commerce shirt. And they are all available in blue and black because we don't know what color shirts we're wearing for the game. And Tim requested that there be pink, so I've got pink State Down shirts available as well. And if Tim's not wearing that shirt at the tailgate, you have my permission to flick him in the ear for making me put that on the website.
Wow. I was kind of thinking, the school could actually buy a ton of pink shirts for, like breast cancer game that's later in the season.
Well, I'm all for a pink out. Oh, football game. Sorry. My bad. My bad.
I'm going to leave that one alone there. Right?
And what else do you have today, David?
Hey, man.
That might have been some
bowl projections. We are 3 weeks in, and we got a bowl projection.
We're going, right?
We're going now?
Ryan, you don't want to go.
We made it?
Where is it? Go.
Where is it?
Famous Idaho Potato Bowl.
Yes. Going this year.
Against Bowling Green State.
I'm not interested. I'll pass.
Yeah. And they have Bowling Green as the favorite, 4-point favorite. This is I think it was Brett McMurphy's Action News Network crap, whatever thing that Brett McMurphy does. I think it's him.
Did you say Bowling Green State? Or do you mean Ball State or Bowling Green?
Bowling Green.
Is it Bowling Green State?
I thought it was just Bowling Green University.
It's BGSU, isn't it? Bowling Green State University? BGSU?
Maybe. All right, never mind. Is that we
played
them?
Sounds like
that's the one we played.
We've not played. I don't think we played bowl. We've played him in basketball. I don't think we played him in
football.
All right, maybe I'm just getting all these teams mixed up myself. So
it doesn't sound exciting though. I'm not excited.
Anything? Got to win some more games, guys.
I want American. That's what I want. I want to play an American team.
But that was the only bowl projection I saw, and they did have us in there, so that was great.
It's a change, right?
I did also see somebody dropped in the chat, maybe Tim, I'm not sure. The ranking of us one rank above Vandy.
Yeah, that was on. I think that's the same
weekly.
site. I meant to put that on there. Do I not have that? Oh, that was on. What's the site I'm thinking of? Was it not Action? Athletic. Athletic did it.
Athletic, yeah.
That sounds right.
Yeah, they ranked all
our Patreon
all
chat.
100 something like that, and we were ranked the 42nd best team in all of college football, one spot ahead of Vanderbilt, and 30 spots ahead of Trash Down South.
I mean, 42. That's pretty good.
That's pretty fantastic for us.
What's the best we've been? Do we know? Do you know?
I don't think we've ever been top 50 in any ranking at all. I don't think so. At our best, we've never been top 50.
So somebody's impressed with us.
That Vandy win, even though everybody's making fun of us for going to storming the field. Not us, we didn't do it, but the kids did it.
I mean, I would have, but the club level is way too high.
That would be even a bigger fall bust. I would not have. When we were standing there, I was like, I'm not like we should not be jumping. Somebody said on social that after storming the field, there had been more players on the field during the game than there were fans on the field being stormed.
That's probably true. I wouldn't even call it a storming because, it's not.
It was an entering of the field.
But I love it. Get excited. I mean, the few students who showed up, get psyched. Like, go do whatever you want. If you want to storm the field, go storm the freaking field.
I went to my bocce league last night. A girl goes to make fun of me about storming the field. I'm like, can you really call it storming the field when we had 80 people in the stands to begin with? Attendance was really bad, but it was raining. It was the misting,
it was the
weather all
Raining
day long.
Late. The late game, I think, doesn't make it a very family friendly environment either.
Speaking of late game, they did announce that Trash Down South is a 3:30 game.
Oh, that's a good time.
Right in the middle.
Yeah, well, it's not like too early. Like there's still plenty of tailgate time, and that's a good time.
It's not noon. It's not 2. You get 3:30. You get a little extra hour out of it.
Well, and if I'm doing wings, I'm gonna wake up and smoke them like that morning. So that's gonna be not fun.
How long was about an hour and a half to smoke the wings?
It's not. So I don't smoke them low because I just cheat. The skin. So I smoke them for like 30 minutes at 350. So.
Okay. Yeah. I think I'm actually going to grill my wings. I'm going to grill my wings for that game.
Yeah. I mean, I could do like a lower and slower and then like finish them on the grill or crank it up. But like I haven't made that work. So I don't want to do that for people.
I was going to smoke them low the day before and then bring out a fryer and do the smoke fried wings.
Yeah.
And then I remembered that I make things too hard on myself when I go to tailgates and I should just bring the food prepared and not worry about it.
You could smoke them the day before and then fry them at home before you come in. Before you
do that too.
Yeah,
it's true.
Could do that too.
Yeah,
all right.
It wouldn't be much different.
Do you want to hit? I say there's one thing that we need to talk about on here, and then we can talk about that realignment stuff on last call. But there was a news dropped today that Brian Kemp signed into some kind of law or whatever that state universities, state school programs can't
get on a naughty list.
Actually pay players, and I don't know how this works exactly, and their conferences are not allowed to penalize them for it. Yeah. I don't know how a Georgia law can say a national conference can't do something, but
I don't know.
Governments never really let rules or things get in the way of them passing legislation at all.
We do have a legal expert here. We have Ryan.
The effect is, as long as state funds are not being used for it, Georgia State can now begin paying players directly, be it through NIL, which I guess it all gets included as NIL, but they could actually pay them to be employees. They could actually just give them a job.
Yeah,
and pay them as long as that money comes from fundraising sources and not.
Gotta make sure they clock in and clock out every day.
Yeah, but what do? You just all right. You're now the equipment manager. You're in charge of number 32's equipment getting to and from the field every day. Number 32, and we'll pay you $60,000 a year to do that.
But the thing about it not coming from state funds, like David, you were talking about this in the Patreon chat. I think that money's fungible. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like if if they need that money to go there, then they'll just take more state money and put it towards something that was being paid for by donations or whatever, and take the donations and pay the player, and it's all
It's just
going to work out the
movements of the
same.
balance sheets. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as our resident CPA accountant on the Patreon group made a comment of, because there was a question of if donating to the donating to the PAC and getting your tax deduction, and if that money could then be paid to the players, and then it becomes that 501c
501c,
whatever that could be, make the PAC in jeopardy of its charitable donation thing. So
that standard deduction is so high. I want to know who in our patron group is deducting donations on their tax returns, because we should get more money from them.
yeah, up that Patreon amount.
That's right. That's right.
Every year now, you got to turn in your tax returns, and we'll decide which level you are a member.
You should donate more.
Yeah. We've assigned you to the ultimate fund. It's $10,000 donation,
and if you don't donate that, you don't get the beer.
Yeah, no beer, no beer,
no beers,
no beer. So yeah, that's interesting. I mean, obviously, schools like Georgia, I mean, even Georgia Tech are really going to benefit from this. Maybe even Trash Down South. I really hope that Charlie Cobb and Coach A.D. McGee are figuring something out on a way to utilize this, because this does, at least for now, give us a competitive advantage against a lot of schools in our conference.
Well, and again, money is fungible, so the big boys were already doing it. Somehow, some way, they were funneling money from wherever they needed to the players that they needed to, and that was already happening. So it's sort of like is empowering us to kind of keep up a little bit, which is really good. And it's also just like ending, like, to me, I get frustrated when there's like loopholes that people go through. Like I said, the haves are going to do whatever they want to do anyway, because they find out how to do it. And it's like, well, why don't you just let it happen so that like everyone can do it, and then like make it just easy to see what's happening, so that it's like really clear to see, hey, okay, Georgia's paying their players this much. Okay, cool, that's good.
And they don't have to hide it anymore, right?
That's exactly. They're not hiding any of it. It's all out in the open.
When you make things illegal, it still happens. It's just now you don't know that it's happening, or you don't know all the details of the happenings. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like the tax code is complicated, but like rich people, they don't pay the reason they don't pay a bunch of taxes is because they hire people who are experts in tax code to find all the loopholes. They're not breaking the law. They just know how to work the system.
Well, we don't need to get into all taxes.
I'm just saying, people just know, the haves know how to work the system, and they have the money to figure out how to work the system, to like hire the right people to do all that stuff. So
we just need somebody to actually want to work the system for Georgia State.
Yeah, well, it seems like the players do, so that's good.
Yeah. Yep.
I'll take it.
All right, do you guys want to do realignment on last call?
That seems good.
Yeah, I think it's probably a good idea. We're at 48-ish.
Yep.
Maybe.
All right, well, thanks everybody for listening. Oh, hey, I forgot, man. Old habits die hard. Tim, take us out of here.
Well, really, thanks everyone for listening. We're going to take a quick break, stock the beverages, head on over to Last Call. If you liked what you heard or you didn't, join us anyway at patreon.com/State of Atlanta. You'll get early access to Last Call, discounts on merch. David went over all the merch you can get today. All of the merch. You get discounts on merch. You get double discounts on merch for Trash Down South Week. Group chat action, obviously, that's great, and has late breaking news, adult beverages at our tailgates, as always, and more. And I don't know what the more is, but David will tell you. $5 a month. You can become a fan of the show. Please join us. Say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, guys.
Goodbye. Or peace. Sorry, my bad.
You're messing it all up.
You're off today.
I'm all over the place today.